For this country, it's not more than doing now. Is it my yes? This one, okay. I would like to see this. Rise to inflation. The lesson violence that Nigeria has expressed. The paper points out that yes, if you go back all the way to 6 more people committed suicide in the last 6 years than at any other time in Nigeria this year. But the question is, we have the facilities in place to provide mental health care, support, provide counseling for persons who may be going through either divorce or the pandemic of mental care, which people to commit suicide or any kind of trauma or wisdom.
And can I just say we love you, really? Trust me.
We'll take a short break. And when we return, we'll be talking to Kingsley Fambo, the Kogi State Commissioner for Information. Here we go.
Not you, not you. Not you.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Yesterday, the Lagos State House of Assembly passed the state value added and directed the acting clerk of the Assembly, Mr. Alhaji Yahaya Bello, should someone will approve the bill, Lagos will become the second state in the country after removing steps to take over VAT administration in its jurisdiction from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Unexpectedly, the move towards fiscal federalism has set up a tidal wave that is sweeping across other states such as Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, and Ekiti. The three states have either initiated steps to enact similar legislation or approached lawyers to be joined in their appeal instituted by the FRS against the River State government. Now joining us from Abuja Studio to tell us why Kogi State is in disagreement with the move of Lagos and River State and why they are not keen on jumping the VAT bandwagon is Kingsley Samuel, the Kogi State Commissioner for Information, who will also be lending some insights into the spat between the Kogi State government and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over a frozen salary bailout plan belonging to the state. Welcome to the show, Mr. Samuel. Good morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, Kingsley, we'll get to VAT in a moment. But let's start with the allegation by the EFCC that the Kogi State government decided to fix money meant for the bailout to pay salaries of government workers in a bank account. I know that the Kogi State government has denied that. Then where are we now on that matter? The state government actually
thank you very much.
bailout funds in the private account in Sterling Bank. You mentioned the bank. Very specific.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ruben Abasi, for this question. Last week, we addressed a press conference and we dealt with all of these issues during that press conference. But at that time, it was still a developing story. There are new developments now. There are issues that should be identified and be dealt with holistically. They sought to have it before a competent court of jurisdiction that Kogi is operating a fixed deposit account with Sterling Bank. Sterling Bank came out to say that no, Kogi is not operating such account with them. That has repudiated the claim of the EFCC. Also, they said that there were billions of naira in the same account on April 1st, 2021, and we know we dispensed all of the funds before the end of September 2019. So that is another false allegation. So we've identified all of these allegations, and those are the allegations that ordinarily the EFCC should come out to speak to those allegations. They've remained silent since our press conference, and we know that they have accepted defeat and have accepted the fact that they've touched the wrong tail. And I think that's the reason for their silence at the moment. But we also know that in a very desperate way to get out of this imbroglio that they have put themselves into, they are making certain desperate moves that are very unconstitutional, and we know that they are trying to cover their track. But I think what they should do at the moment is to come out and tell Nigerians that what we did concerning the Kogi story, the Kogi allegation was wrong. We are withdrawing the case in court because we have wrongly made allegations against them. But what they are doing now, which is compounding the problem, is to be intimidating the financial institutions that have things to do with Kogi State. We are aware that they have invited officials of Sterling Bank to harass them on why they had to release that fact that they released. In law, they talk about facts speaking for themselves. When something is a fact, it is a fact. It is a fact that the money they said was in their account on April 1 was not there. It was false. So it is also a fact that we are not operating any fixed deposit account with Sterling Bank as alleged before a competent court of jurisdiction where they have clearly committed perjury. All of these things are the things they should address instead of harassing financial institutions. We are also aware that they have invited the other banks that have transactions to do with Kogi State, especially UBA, and they are harassing them to come and bring statements of financial transactions that have to do with the state government. We are not hiding anything, and we are not afraid of anything. When they challenged us on Sterling Bank, we came out with a bank statement and we circulated it because it is government resources used for government people, so we have nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide as far as the other bank accounts are concerned in various in various financial institutions across the country. But it is not constitutional for you to be harassing financial institutions just because you want to name a state. It's just unfortunate, and we are challenging them today. They are not to supervise the income and expenditure of Kogi State. They don't have such powers. Kogi State is a state in a federation called Nigeria. So we have rights to financial transactions. What we have to check is when there are infractions, when there are allegations of malfeasance, when there are allegations of misappropriation. In this case, they miss the road. Instead of them to come back to the right route, they are compounding it by stubbornly moving ahead to see what they can do about it. This is unconstitutional, and they cannot be harassing us. They are a federal agency. There are institutions within the State House of Assembly, the Office of the Auditor General of the State, and all of that will check some of these things. If there are allegations, we are ready to answer these allegations. Till now, they have not invited us. And some of the accounts statements they are even demanding for and harassing all these banks to bring are things that we have given to them in the past. When we had the bailout, they requested for all of this and brought our officials. They had all the account statements with them. So I don't know why they are harassing these people and instrument. This is unacceptable, and as a state, we are not going to accept that.
Now, Governor Yahaya Bello made a reference to people who might be orchestrating what he describes as a phantom lie. I have to ask, do you have any idea who those people might be?
Those people are people who are probably threatened by the rising political profile of Governor Yahaya Bello. So if you look at Kogi State today, when you look at all the projects that have taken place there, we've deliberately
I called the back yesterday. I'm in G right now. Let me finish up.
Most of those projects, some of them are already completed, they are already in use. When you look at all of this, they know that Yahaya Bello is a threat to their inordinate political ambition. He has not come out to say he wants to be president. The people of Nigeria are saying he should come and be their president. And he said that the appropriate time is going to respond to them. But this is already a threat to those who have not done anything to secure their people, those who have not put infrastructure in their state, those who are threatened by the acceptance of Yahaya Bello by the youth and women of Nigeria. They are the ones that are instigating things. They have a lot of problems in their state that they should use their resources to solve. But instead of that, they have unfortunately misled PFCC to go and kill it. What you want to tell PFCC and those behind this story is that they are not contending with Yahaya Bello. They are confronting the Nigerian people that have identified him as the right person to lead this country forward, to solve the problem of insecurity, to solve the problem of not including the youth in the governance, in injecting their dynamism to the governance of this country. They are the people behind it. At the appropriate time, we will mention it, but it is not yet time. We are still watching. The macabre dance of PFCC on the grave of their misadventure. We will wait and see how it comes out. At the appropriate time, we will shield them by mentioning their names because we know them. They should stop being threatened. It is not Yahaya Bello idea to the president. It is the Nigerian people idea who have seen what he has done. They are the people behind it. And they should know that it is a battle against the Nigerian people.
Okay, hold on. You keep saying the Nigerian people. I mean, I didn't get the number. Which Nigerian people want to hire Bello? I mean, what percentage, what empirical evidence or proof do you have at the answer? And secondly, let me bring you to this stats on the state. So this is saying they're not in support of Lagos. Is it because police having the case with PFCC? They want to look good, PFCC, that's why they're not in support of what all states can benefit from? Because I don't get this narrative.
Thank you very much. Let me start by telling you that Nigerian people that we are talking about are the people from all the geopolitical zones of the country. The Youth Vanguard of the Niger Delta a few days ago made a declaration at a very well-attended press conference. We also have a lot of groups from the west, from the southwest, from the southeast, from the south, from the north, everywhere. Women, youth, because they believe in him. So that is why they are calling him to the president. On the VAT issue, it's a very funny one that we have to be very careful about. When you look at Kogi State, Kogi is a nodal state It is bordered, it is bordered by about 10 states of the Federation. It is the gateway to the north, to the south, to the everywhere. And you know that thousands of vehicles traverse the states on a daily basis. It is the mineral capital of Nigeria. In every local government area in Kogi State, you have mineral resources there. It is housing at the Abuja State Company, the biggest in Africa when computed. It is housing the biggest cement factory in Africa, the Dangote cement. So when you look at our advantages, we should even be at the forefront of fighting for this to say that VAT should be completely retained in the state. But I think we should take it beyond this. When you look at the Southwest, the reality of the Southwest in those days, the cocoa house, the pyramid in the north, and all of that, you know, the benefits, and the whole of Nigeria is reaping the benefits today of these resources. And what we need to do at this material time is, as leaders, we should stop thinking about ourselves alone. The position of Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State on this is very clear. We will not jump on that bandwagon to be calling for the retention of VAT completely. In states, we are not created equal. The God that created us and did not give us equal potential know that we have to support one another. So if Kogi could generate all of those resources and equity cannot generate as much as Kogi State, then it means that Kogi State will have to leverage and see how most of these benefits can go around the entire country. This call for VAT, for me, it's something that it shows some of our leaders are quite insensitive, self-centered, and they are trying to make policies that will further divide this country. The position of Governor Yahaya Bello is that these resources should be pulled together and be used for the entire country. When you look at the population of the north, you know that most of these things that we produce are being consumed majorly by where you have a higher population. So we don't subscribe to the fact that we should retain this entirely. We should make sure that the policies we put forward are nationalist in nature. So as far as Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State is concerned, we are not going to jump on this. We are going to continue to look at ways of deepening our revenue in the state as much as possible to be able to serve the people. But we will not jump into the politics of trying to say what belongs to you should be just for you alone. Why are we talking about grants, even from international organizations, from the World Bank and all of that? Why is US not using their resources alone without sending grants to other nations? Recently, you are aware that some of the human funds that we have in Kogi State that we know other states will also need, we wrote to the World Bank and we repatriated some of the funds to help even Plateau State. This is how a nation should act in unity. We cannot be professing unity and at the same time be making policies that we tend to divide the nation. So we are not in support of that. We are standing firmly with the Federal Inland Revenue Service on this.
Well, just two quick questions. We started by talking about the EFCC with regard to bailout funds and the Kogi State government is on record as having threatened to take the EFCC to court. Where are we with that? Are you still going to go to court, or you just allow the matter to die down? And secondly, you say that it's Nigerians, the people of Nigeria, that are compelling Governor Yahaya Bello to run for the presidency of Nigeria. Well, I know some people who say that part of the problem we have had in this country is that people get drafted to the job. You know, since return to civilian role, everybody they will have to go and say, oh, it's your turn. You to come and be president of Nigeria. Or, oh, yes, okay, you have to be president. Is Governor Yahaya Bello himself interested in the presidency of Nigeria? And if he is, what does it matter to do for the people of Nigeria? Because this story about my people called me, people of Nigeria are inviting me to come and be president. No, we should stop inviting people. Whoever wants to be president, you just stand up and say, I want to be president, and this is what I want to do. Is he interested Please clarify that for us.
Thank you very much. Let me start with the EFCC question. Along the line, I think the Lagos judge realized that he was deceived into granting that ex parte order, and he was dragging on signing that order. But we moved swiftly. We wrote to that court. You know, when you are innocent, you have to rely on it. So we wrote to the court and said, look, we want this order. Sign it. We want to see. We want to have a copy of this order. That is where we are. We are fighting our processes very soon in the next couple of days. I have not been briefed today by our legal team. I know they are working hard to fight the processes as quickly as possible, because we will use this. We will use this to make a big statement to all Nigerians and to federal agencies that they cannot trample on states. We are a federating unit, and nobody can harass us to that extent. So definitely we are on course. We will be going to court to challenge them. We are sorry. We are sorry for the judge that was deceived into granting this. It is unfortunate, but we are to. It is about integrity now and transparency that Kogi has been known for. In the last couple of days, over 1.5 million visitors have gone to our website to see all of the things that are there concerning the utilization of the bailout. How can you say that we fixed 19.6 billion from 20 billion and we paid all the salaries that we were owing as at that time with the bailout fund that was released, because of course that was the purpose for the release of the bailout. So it is quite unfortunate that EFCC did not do their homework, and they will have to pay dearly for this. And just like the governor counsel the EFCC boss, we know he's a very competent officer. We know he will continue to do a very good job. He should not be misled by this political machineries that are all out to ensure that they disturb the peace of Nigeria. It is unfortunate, but we are going to call. I want to assure you of that. On the call of Nigerians, on Governor Yahaya Bello to become the president of Nigeria, it is quite different from the kind of drafting that Mr. Bati was talking about. The people that are calling on him because he has performed wonderfully in his state, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of economic empowerment, in terms of economic expansion, in terms of youth inclusiveness in governance. These are some of the things that are brought to bear. In terms, when you look at security, when you look at agriculture, when you look at even the unity of the state, it is a microcosm of bigger Nigeria. So if you can bring unity to this state, you can do that in Nigeria. Kogi was dangerously moving towards being a very big security threat to the nation in 2014-2015. I see it very as of that time. But this government came and ensured that today we cannot hear of such things anymore in Kogi State. Even our political opponents are even threatening to do. So when you look at the issues that will form the 2023 presidential campaign in our country, is going to be about security. Has it gone well in securing these people? They have done very well. And that's why Nigerians are confident that they can also secure Nigeria. The issue of unity will come to play. When you look at Governor Yahaya Bello, the traders, the market women, the professionals, the artisans, they all listen to him. Why are they all listening to him? Because he's a very youthful and useful person, a person of immense capacity that has dragged the state from the doldrum to a state of prominence. And you look at all the things that are happening in Kogi State today. Look at when they have been talking about Kogi joining the oil-producing states. He has made it happen again. And that means that we are going to have more resources to serve the people of the state. So when you look at this, when you look at even women inclusion in governance, in Kogi State today, women are vice chairman of their local government. One is already an acting chairman. And you also have women as council leaders. You have women constituting about 35% of the local government legislative councils and all of that. So women across the country, you could see that even the National Women Council of Nigeria came to Kogi State to honor him with the award of the He for She. He's a man that is standing up for women. He's a man that is saying women can do it. They don't belong to just the kitchen. They can pull us out of our economic problems and all of that. So the youths, when you look at the cabinet of Kogi State today, 90% of the cabinet is made up of youth across Nigeria. I'm not just going to say across Kogi State, because we have youth from Borno State, from Anambra State, from all over Nigeria in Kogi State cabinet today. So it's already creating a Nigeria in Kogi State. And that's why all of these people are calling on him to come and be president in 2023.
Right.
And you can also look at the issue of this VAT. Our position is quite different from others' position. While others are saying they want to retake it entirely, we are saying no. Let us think Nigeria. Let us think Nigeria. Let us act Nigeria. And it is all about our neighbors. Kogi has more resources, for instance, than Ekiti State. Are we going to leave Ekiti State to suffer? No. Let the resources that come from all of the states go to all of the states. That is the way to act. Unity. And that is what Yahaya Bello is doing. That's why Nigerians trust him. Will he do it? He's not a man that disappoints. And he's a man that already knew that he's in a good trouble with Nigerians. Someone said the other time that most of Nigerians were mad.
Right, you just mentioned the fact that Kogi State has joined the 9 oil-producing states and is going to get their slice of the 13% derivation. I imagine a situation where that 13% derivation did not exist, and all the states had equal access to what from states, a handful of states were producing. I think that's part of the argument, that Lagos State, River State, they're advancing. With regards to VAT, what's your perspective on that? And also with regards to your governor's presidential bid, I have a second question, so there are 2 questions. With regards to your governor's presidential bid, what's your take on the fact that the general mood in the country is in fact demanding a southern president, not a northern president, and Kogi is in the north?
Okay, thank you. Let me first answer the one on the revenue, the 30% derivation. What is coming from oil is being used to develop the entire country. The 30% derivation is set aside to be able to take care of some of the environmental issues that producing states go through, and in developing those states and giving them a sense of belonging. VAT is not also entirely for the federal government. Part of VAT is being given to all the states. So the argument is not the same here. And on the presidential thing, when we are talking about the mood of the nation being coming to the south, I think the media needs to go and take the pulse of the nation properly. It is not about the north or the south. That we should stop the division. We started like this in Kogi State when a certain part of the state was governing the state, and even they could not fix water. We started like this in Kogi State when a certain part of the state was governing the state, and even they could not fix water. We started like this in Kogi State when a certain part of the state was governing the state, and even they could not fix water.
10 seconds. If not, it's still in the system. One more lap.
National department. I come for one more lap.
We started like this in Kogi State when a certain part of the state was governing the state, and even they could not fix water. Primary education institutions are not there. People in that area, not
Okay, I'm back. Yes, sir. I'm sure this is not time.
It isn't the first time we've worn uniforms, or the first time we've missed dinner parties or football games.
Welcome back to the morning show. You're on the right. Joining us now is OG, okay, with stories around the world. Hello, Jimika.
I loved that introduction.
Hello, Jimmy.
Standing around. Good morning, Mr. Matthew.
How are you?
Yeah, Coach Mr. I don't know how that.
Yeah,
Yeah. You are doing well. Open up. Where is Sonny?
Yes, sir. Ah, that's wallet.
No, you will do something.
Right, Honorable. Alpha. No, Alpha. This is our very good. Very good, Right, Honorable. The exercise is done.
What's the next step? I don't fully work out, but I just slow now for some reasons.
Slow down.
Slow down. If not, work out into I dey envy you as you dey work out like this, excellence. Yes, and the world is appreciating it.
You make me fool yourself.
Yes, do deserve. Alright. What I told you, you are protecting your so, make one still straight too and relax.
Working out is part of responsibility. Hello, my director. Okay, I'm just thinking from I said you can start coming. Just don't know. You can come. They're only so close to the side. Yes, yes, yes. No, come here. Okay, let me follow outside.
In ka hau ka riga za ka ba mu taki a gida kuma kai ne ayyukan ka zai zaga gida muna in ka ce za ka fito rawa ne tsalle in ka ce za ka fito addu'a za ka jama don ka amsa ka fito kana ko matasa matashi da matasa mai wasa murka ne yawa dalla na koyi kwariya ta kwariya to zauna da shirinka jirgin sama ya kai sama ya bar wasu zaune bayan haka ya yau kasa ya sauke mutane wani ya yi maka kurun wai shi dan fitina ne ya da haka kaga aka kamar shi tsugunne laya ya rike kuwa mai zamani ne ya haya da fitaka wata ya tsere ka Allah ya ɗaga ka ba mai sauke ka albaza zaka wasu hali ne kwaka Ya duba mabuta, ya sa da zumunta, ya bai wa matasa aiki. Ina ce ya haya min kada da rubari, ka kawo da tsirane, ka sanya na zaune. Zauna ya haya dandal, kana da masoya, ta ka tafiya dandal da babu irinka. Auta da yawa ya haya dandal na koge, babu wasu gidanka. Kana ko matasa, matashi da matasa, mai wasa murka ne ya dalla da kogi. Kwariya ta kwariya to zauna da shirinka. Ko har da daji zauna da ba. Matashi da matasa, kamar kuma harfin da zai yi matashi da matasa, za ta zo da dole in yaya yana abu. Matashi da matasa, rayuwar gashi ko gida. Matashi da matasa, al'ummar jihar na taya mai sauya. Matashi da matasa, da zama shi ne tuba ne. Matashi da matasa,
100 people like in one place. 90 to 95%.
He's ruling the world now. I buy.
90 to 95% out. One-on-one like this. The only way out we can communicate is by touching.
Everybody's addicted to food.
Thank you. Yeah, guys. Let's go. We're getting ready for mosque. Hello, barista. Yes. Barista, listen. Barista.